there were a competition to find the most skilled mechanic, do you think this man deserves to take first place? Right in front of us is a car that has suffered severe deterioration over time. From the outside, it still looks somewhat intact because the old paint is covering the damage. So, at first glance, most people would assume it's simply an old vehicle. But the reality, hidden beneath that paint, is completely different. With just a few hits from a hammer, pieces of metal begin breaking away, revealing rust that has eaten so deeply into the body that it seems beyond saving. Some sections are completely rotten through, with only a thin layer of paint still holding the shape together. In a condition like this, most repair shops would suggest replacing the entire body shell, an effective solution, but one that comes with a very expensive price tag. But then this car ended up in the hands of a remarkable craftsman. What surprises people is not that he owns high-tech equipment or a $1 million workshop. In fact, his tools are incredibly simple. Just a handheld cutting machine, a welding machine, and sheets of fresh steel. Yet his hands and experience are what truly make the difference. He starts by cutting away every rusted section, carefully removing all damaged areas with astonishing precision. Then, one by one, new steel panels are measured, cut, shaped, and manually fitted to replace the old body. It sounds simple, but anyone who understands metalwork knows this is an incredibly demanding process. A difference of only a few millimeters can throw the entire structure out of alignment. One mistake in welding can warp the surface or ruin the appearance. Yet, this craftsman carries out every step with a level of accuracy that is truly impressive. Each replacement panel is cut with incredible precision. The weld lines are clean and smooth, looking almost as if they were part of the original car from the factory. Even more impressive is that nearly the entire restoration is done by hand. No robots, no expensive machinery, just skill, experience, and attention to detail at an extraordinary level. Every small detail is handled with care. Every curve of the car body is restored almost back to its original form. A vehicle that seemed destined for the scrapyard slowly comes back to life through his hands. Some people may say this is just car repair, but for those who understand mechanical craftsmanship, this is closer to creating a work of art from metal. Turning something that looked impossible to save into a complete vehicle again. That isn't just work. That's talent, dedication, and mastery. So what do you think? With skills like these, does this mechanic deserve to win the highest award in a mechanical competition? And if you're impressed by his incredible craftsmanship, don't forget to leave a like to show appreciation for the hard work and talent behind this amazing restoration. You see, what amazed me the most about this craftsman was not simply that he could restore a car that had nearly fallen apart. It was the way he recreated every body panel with nothing more than his own hands. Just look at the sheet of steel in front of us. At first, it was nothing more than a flat, square piece of metal with no shape and no character. If you placed it next to the old car body, rusted, warped, and heavily damaged, almost nobody would believe that something so simple could eventually become a complete replacement panel. But this is where the incredible part begins. This craftsman doesn't use modern CNC cutting machines. He doesn't use massive hydraulic presses, and he doesn't rely on expensive metal forming equipment like the kind you would normally find in an automobile factory. Instead, he begins with observation. He carefully studies the original body panel, examining every curve, every fold, every connection point, and every measurement that needs to be recreated. Then he marks those details directly onto the new sheet of steel, and then the work begins. Each cut is made with careful precision, as if every movement had already been planned in advance. Little by little, unnecessary material is removed until the steel starts taking on a shape similar to the original panel. But cutting alone isn't enough. The hardest part of body restoration has never been creating the correct outline. The real challenge is shaping the curves. Because a car body isn't made of simple flat surfaces, it is built from countless flowing curves that must work together to create strength, balance, and visual harmony. And this is the moment that truly surprised me. Every step of shaping the metal is done entirely by hand. The tools he uses are unbelievably simple. A basic forming machine, a few ordinary workshop tools, and most importantly, a hammer. That's right. That ordinary-looking hammer becomes the very tool that allows him to create precise contours and refine details across the car body. Every strike has a purpose. Every amount of force is controlled. Some areas require only a slight curve. Some sections need the metal to stretch, others must be pressed inward, and some areas need to be lifted little by little. Everything is done through experience, skill, and a deep understanding of the material. There are no digital displays, no computer calculations, no automated measuring systems, only sharp eyes, skilled hands, and thousands of hours of accumulated experience. Watching him work, I honestly feel like I'm watching an artist create something, not simply a mechanic repairing a vehicle. Each hammer strike echoes steadily. At first, the steel seems unchanged, but after some time, something unbelievable starts to happen. That rigid and lifeless sheet of metal slowly begins to transform. Curves appear, body lines become visible, technical details begin taking shape. And eventually, a moment arrives where, if you hadn't witnessed the entire process yourself, you probably wouldn't believe that this panel had been shaped completely by hand. It looks too smooth, too clean, too close to the original. I think many of us underestimate manual craftsmanship. We've become used to believing that only advanced machinery can produce high precision. But this craftsman proves something completely different. When skill reaches an extraordinary level, even simple tools can create results that leave people speechless. What impresses me most is his patience. No rushing, no shortcuts. He is willing to adjust again and again just to make one curve look slightly more natural. Willing to redo a section simply because it hasn't reached the level of perfection he expects from himself. And that's when I realized something. The most valuable thing was never the tools. It was the person holding them. At this point, it no longer feels like simple repair work. It feels like respect for the craft. Perhaps people working in the same field understand better than anyone else just how difficult this really is. Because those who do this kind of work know that shaping metal by hand at this level is not something you learn in a few days or even a few months. This is the result of years of experience, years of mistakes, years of corrections, thousands of hours of quiet dedication. What makes me admire him even more is the fact that he never tries to rush. He works slowly, he observes, he measures, he adjusts, and then continues. Some details may already look perfect to most people, but he still adds a few careful hammer strikes to refine them. Some sections appear finished, yet he removes them and starts over. That level of commitment is something not everyone has the patience to pursue. And perhaps that is exactly why the final result becomes so impressive. When the body panels are finally assembled together, the first feeling isn't simply that the repair is complete. It feels as though the car had never been damaged at all. The joints look natural, the surfaces appear balanced, the curves flow perfectly with the rest of the body. If you only looked at the finished result, it would be difficult to imagine that this area was once nothing more than rusted and broken metal. That moment truly made me stop and think. Today we have access to so many advanced machines, but sometimes the real difference still comes down to people. Someone with experience, someone with patience, someone who truly loves the craft. Maybe that's why so many skilled workers who watch this video will feel genuine respect for him. Not because he owns expensive equipment, but because he possesses a level of craftsmanship that opens people's eyes. I believe anyone who has worked in metal fabrication or body repair can understand the value of what we're seeing. Because after watching only a few minutes of his process, it becomes clear that these skills were not built overnight. They are the result of a long journey. Now, what about you? After watching this entire process, what do you think? Are you surprised to learn that such beautiful body panels were shaped completely by hand using only simple tools? Or do you have a different opinion about this craftsman's level of mechanical skill? Leave your thoughts in the comments below so everyone can join the discussion. Maybe among the comments there will be experienced mechanics sharing insights that many of us have never heard before. And if you think this video was interesting, meaningful, and deserves to be shared, please give this incredible craftsman a like. It's more than just clicking a button. It's a way to recognize the hard work, patience, and passion he poured into every small detail. Thank you so much for staying with us until this moment. Your support continues to inspire us to bring more amazing videos in the future. I wish you and your family peace, good health, and many wonderful things in life. May each of your days be filled with joy and happiness. Goodbye for now, and I'll see you again in the next video. Thank you very much.